بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين وأصحابه المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان وإيمان إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، فقد قال تعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيله ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تتقون. Our Islamic faith stands on three important pillars. And these three pillars, all of them are essential for our journey into this religion. And they work together, meaning if one of these pillars is missing, the entire building, the entire structure is going to crush. The first one is the Aqeedah, the intellectual foundation, the intellectual structure of the faith, the doctrine, the basic principles, the basic belief. And the Aqeedah begins with the recognition of God. Ma'rifatullah. Awwalud dini ma'rifatuh. The first step into this religion, this is a kindergarten stage, primary stage. The first step, the first stage is to recognize God. Today, when we are asked about God, what do you know about God? The answer is very simple. The answer is God is one. And that's it. What do you know about Him? We know nothing. But monotheism, the concept of monotheism, the most important foundation, the infrastructure of our faith, the philosophical, intellectual infrastructure of our faith is monotheism, Tawheed, Tawheedullah. Has many branches, and we must know about it. And we cannot emulate others, our parents, just by them telling us, believe in God, believe in His monotheism. Monotheism, we believe, but we don't know anything. We have to be able to explain this concept and fathom this concept. Aqeedatul Tawheed. What does it mean? It is much more than God being one. Much more than that. Tawheed has branches and chapters. The most important branch is the essence of God, the unity of the essence. Tawheed al-Dhat. Tawheed al-Dhat. Tawheed al-Sifat. The unity of the attributes. The third one, Tawheed al-Af'al, the unity of the deeds. The fourth one, Tawheed al-Ibadah, the unity of the worshipping. Each and every one of these concepts, each and every one of these concepts has a meaning, deep meaning. Tawheed al-Dhat, the unity of the essence. God has an essence. What is His essence? What do you know about the essence of God? Dhatullah. Dhatullah also, we can describe it in two ways. Ahadiyya and Wahidiyya. Ahadiyya, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ. He has no similarity. He is unmatched. God is unrivaled, unmatched, unparalleled. He is unique. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. God cannot be compared to anything in this universe. It's absolutely unique. And wahidiyya is what? Does it mean He's one? No, it doesn't mean He's one. Theologically, we cannot say God is one, because if you say He's one, numerical, a'dad, it means the one has two and the two has a three and the three followed by four and by five. And you cannot count God like this. God is not a number. Wahidiyya means that His structure, His essence, is not composed, is not structured. Each and every one of us is structured. How is that? You know, now when you are listening to me, you know how many things inside you are working together collectively in order for you to listen to me, in order for me to speak to you. There are millions of things inside me are working together in harmony to deliver the speech. Not just the tongue, not just the mouth. The mouth is an executive. Executive. Delivers. But the one that speaks is the brain. When you hear me, it's not just your ears. Your ears is an executive. The one that hears and understands is your brain. They work together. If one of them is dysfunctioned, the rest cannot work. One of them is crippled, then the process is failed. They have to work together. God does not have this process. ذاته بسيطة غير مركبة. Is not composed. Because if He's composed, then one part of Him is in need to the second part, to the third one, to the fourth one. And God is of no need to anything, including Himself. Including Himself. His structure is simple. ذاته بسيطة. His essence is simple. This is Tawheed al-Dhat. Then we come to Tawheed al-Sifat. God is knowledgeable and you are knowledgeable. So what's the difference between you? Is it in the scope of knowledge? Does that mean God knows more than what you know? Is that the difference? No, that's not the difference. The difference is much bigger, much profound. When we say God is knowledgeable, it means God wasn't knowledgeable from day one. His knowledge never increased, never decreased, never ever, from day one where He has no day one. It's not even right to say day one for God, because God has no day one. God preceded the history. God is eternal. He has no beginning. God has no beginning, neither an end. So, God, His knowledge is the same, does not increase. While us, the knowledge every single day, rather every single hour, either your knowledge increases or decreases, depending on what you do, depending on what you read. The knowledge fluctuates, our knowledge. The amount of knowledge that we have fluctuates. For God, does not fluctuate. It's the same. It's the same. Why? Because His attribute is never separated from His essence. My attribute one day is going to separate from me. It's going to separate from you. The day we were born, we knew nothing. We started to learn slowly, 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 slowly. One day, when we get to a very high age, old age, we're going to lose what we learned. We're going to forget. So it goes up, وَمَن نُعَمِّرْهُ, then it comes down. نُنَكِّسْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ. For God, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Same thing with power and influence. Those people who are influential now, one day they had no influence. They had no power. They had no government. But then they became influential. One day they're going to lose their influence. When it comes to the authority of God and His power, it's exactly the same. From day one, where He has no day one, He was the most powerful, until the last day where He has no last day, He would remain powerful. His power never increases nor decreases, because it is not attached from His essence. There was no day in His life that He had no power, and then He gathered more power because He had more supporters, more worshippers. He's not like kings and presidents. He's always powerful, always knowledgeable. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la hayyul qayyum, self-subsisting. He doesn't need our help. One day there was a creation. One day there was a universe, but no creatures, no humans. God did not feel lonely. He didn't feel lonely. He didn't say, I'm alone. Nobody is worshiping me. Nobody is knowing me. Nobody is saying hi to me, so I am bored. He never said that. He's always powerful. Always self-sufficient. I had a discussion with someone in the airplane. She said, I'm an actor. I didn't recognize her, but apparently she's famous. My knowledge in the movies is poor. So she told me, tell me about your religion, Islam. I said, I have a book. She said, no, I will read your book, but tell me in a couple of sentences. I said, the difference between Islam and Christianity, there are many similarities, but one main difference over the identity of Jesus. Christianity believes He's the Lord, He's God or the Son of God. In Islam, we believe He's the messenger of God. Why? He cannot be God. You know why? She said, why? I said, because if Jesus is God and He's sitting on this seat in this airplane, if He's on this seat, He cannot be on that seat. So God is going to be confined to one seat. The rest are empty from God. If God is in this airplane, He cannot be in the next airplane. If God is going to be in the air, He cannot be on the land or in the sea. You are confining Him to one corner. And imagine, God is sitting in one place, in this room, but He is absent from other places. Can He be a God? He cannot be a God. You know what she answered? Simply she said, that makes sense. I never thought about that. I said, this is the difference. In Islam, our God has a title, very important title. Self-sufficient. Self-sufficient. Ghani. He is in no need for no space, because He is in every space. أَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Neither He is in need to food or a drink or rest or companion or wife or son or relatives. He's self-sufficient. So we have to know the identity of God. God has an identity. God has an identification card. We have to read it and we have to understand it. We cannot build a relationship with someone that we don't know. Many Muslims do not know about Tawheed and the identity of God. They worship Him, they try to worship Him without knowing Him. That does not work, my friends. Imam Ali says the first step into building a relationship with God is for you to know Him. أَوَّلُ الدِّينِ مَعْرِفَتُهُ. And then after that, after God, and today I'm going in the Arabic speech, I'm going to speak about the fourth. We have Tawheed al-Dhat, the essence, the unity of the essence. Tawheed al-Sifat, the unity of the attributes. Tawheed al-Af'al, the unity of the deeds. What does that mean, unity of the deeds? I need one whole lecture to explain that. And then we have Tawheed al-ibadah, the unity of the worshipping. We worship none but God. Today I'm going to speak tonight about it in the Arabic lecture, inshallah. Then we have to know about the Prophet. After the Prophet, the Imams. After the Imams, we have to know about. These are our basic belief. These are our principal fundamentals of our faith. We must know them. We must understand them. We must teach them to our children. So that is the first pillar. The second pillar is about the product of Islam, the fruit of Islam. What is the fruit of Islam? The fruit is al-amal al-salih, the righteous deeds. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. They are together. Faith, the doctrine, the aqidah has to be joined by what? By deeds, righteous deeds. The deeds has to be righteous. وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. God says, I cannot take any observant of faith or believer, I cannot accept him or her if they don't produce, if they don't contribute. You must contribute. Sometimes you have money, contribute with your money. Sometimes you have knowledge, contribute your knowledge. Sometimes you have influence, contribute with your influence. Sometimes you have experience, we need your experience. Sometimes you have wisdom, we need your wisdom. Whatever you can afford. Sometimes you have labor, physical power, we need your physical power. We need your social influence. We need your moral influence. Each and everyone has a capacity, has a speciality. God says, I need all of you. What is important for me is that you contribute, you give. Righteous deeds. A believer cannot be a lazy person. He says, I have no contribution, no work, no production. It's unacceptable. You must do something. You must do something in this life. Ask yourself tonight, so far, what I have been doing and contributing, am I giving or just taking? You have to contribute. God says, you get nothing if you don't contribute. وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. And then these contributions has to be for God. Ikhlas. The quality of the work, the quality of the contribution is important too. It has to have the element of earnestness and sincerity to God. You don't work for yourself. When we work for ourselves, we're going to fight. We're going to fight among ourselves. Why? Because the goal is not a higher goal. The goal is a limited, is a small goal, is to satisfy our ego, ourselves. God says, I want you to work for me. Once you work for me, you are not going to fight among yourselves. Because you work for a higher goal. Even if people do not thank you, even if people do not appreciate you, even if people do not pay attention to you, even if people do not respect you, you still work. Because you are not doing it for people, you are doing it for God. But if you work for yourself, people do not respect you, do not appreciate you, you're going to get frustrated, angry. You're going to fight. We learn from Ahlul Bayt. When they gave the food and they went hungry for 3 days with their kids, they said something very fundamental and phenomenal. إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. We are doing this for God. And we wait the reward from God too. We don't wait for people's praise, people's comments and appreciation. إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. This is why they succeeded. They succeeded. Their work is for God. We have to work, righteous deeds. And the third one is akhlaq. The third component of our faith. The first one, aqidah, doctrine. The second, righteous deeds. Third is akhlaq. Akhlaq is the cover of the faith. The beautification, the adornment. Your faith. You know, when you take a gift, a present to your friend's birthday, friend's house, you wrap it. You make it look attractive, beautiful. What is the attraction of religion? We wrap it with what? You wrap it with akhlaq, with manners. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, my goal is to encourage and cultivate good manners among people. Good manners. If you want to connect with God, the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, if you want to connect with God, what is the way of connecting to Him? How do you get His phone number? How do you get His email address? Where do you get it from? The Prophet says, you want to connect with Him and chat with Him? Connect with good manners. Husnul akhlaq. Husnul akhlaq. God has good manners Himself. Do you want to connect with Him? You have to connect through one of these traits. Such as what? God is forgiving. You have to be forgiving. If you keep the grudge in your heart, this is bad for you. You're going to hurt yourself. Some people keep the grudge. They don't forgive. You are hurting yourself. You are not hurting your enemy. Don't do that. Be forgiving. Have a bigger heart. Teach your heart to be big, to be good, to be clean. We go to God every single day and say to Him, sorry. And we expect Him to say, okay, you are forgiven. Why shouldn't we do this with people? This is number one. Number two, God is generous and kind. God is tolerant. God is forbearant, Halim. Halim. Allahumma innaka halimun tuhibbul anat. You are forbearing God. He can have patience on what we do. He's patient. He can have patience on what we do. We have to learn these qualities from God. We cannot say we love God, but none of His qualities are in our hearts and our minds. That does not work. فَحَسْبُ أَحَدِكُمْ أَنْ يَتَّصِفَ بِصِلَةٍ تَتَّصِلُ بِاللَّهِ تَعَالَى. The Prophet says, do you want to connect with Him? You have to embrace one of His qualities. Once you embrace His quality, you're going to connect with Him. Some people think that if they become observant and religious, they have to frown always. It's forbidden for them to smile. In some societies, they don't smile. Why? Because they are religious. Prophet Muhammad had a smiling face all the time. Prophet Muhammad was welcoming, embracing. We have to learn from his qualities. You don't have to frown. You don't have to look angry all the time. You may smile. Your smile is an act of charity. Husnul akhlaq. Some people pray and fast, but they know nothing about akhlaq. They think Islam is just prayers and fasting. There is something bigger, much bigger than this prayers and this fasting. Much bigger. These are preludes. Your prayers, your fasting is a prelude for something much bigger. What is it? To change your manner, to change your behavior, to be more welcoming, more tolerant, to be kinder, to be more compassionate, to learn these qualities from God. Not to have suspicion about people. God says in the Quran, one of the good qualities I like, that people do not suspect about each other. Because once we suspect about people around us, we cannot trust anyone. And if you don't trust anyone, you cannot live in peace. Again, you're going to hurt yourself. God says, do not. Do not think bad of each other. Don't do that. إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٍ اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِنَ الظَّنِّ. Avoid much of these bad thinking and bad suspicion, because some of it could be a sin. إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٍ. One day, 3 friends were walking together. One of them, they saw a man digging a hole. So one of them immediately said, he was always suspicious. His thinking was not clean. When the thinking is not clean, it means the heart is not clean. When the heart is not clean, it means the faith is fake, not genuine. He immediately said, I think this guy, he's a murderer. He murdered someone. He wants to bury him in this hole. The second said, no, he's not a murderer. This guy's stingy. He has money and he doesn't want his wife to know about the money, so he's hiding the money in this hole. The third one said, no, neither one is correct. This man is digging a well for people to drink water. So they went to the man and they found the third one was right. He's digging a hole to get the water out, to give it to the people. God says, if your heart is clean, your thinking is going to be clean and your mouth is going to be clean. Some people, they master bad mouthing. I know one president. He always bad mouths. When he tweets, when he speaks, people avoid him. People avoid him. Today, the Newsweek, the American Newsweek said, don't tell the president that Twitter is going to increase the letters, because he's going to take advantage of that. Keep it away from him. It's not good. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. If you are a Christian, good Christian, you really follow Jesus, you have to speak well. You have to speak good. You have to be nice. If you are a good Muslim, you follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, you have to speak good. Speaking good, it means your heart is good, your faith is good, your faith is healthy, not fake. This is a reflection of your inside. Reflection. Everything we do, everything we say is a reflection of the inside. So if you keep the inside clean, the outside is going to be clean too. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.